Governor Mike DeWine signed 14 bills into law effective January 1, 2026, marking the primary Ohio government actions around January 18, 2026, with no major legislative sessions. Enforcement actions, or public events recorded specifically on that date. 1. These laws, passed by the Ohio legislature in late 2025, address property taxes, minimum wage, education, marijuana regulations, opioid response, corrections, and emergency services, reflecting a focus on fiscal relief, public health, and school policy. Key legislative activities and provisions effective January 1, 2026 include property tax reforms via 4 bills, including HB 186, which caps annual property tax increases at the rate of inflation, using the GDP deflator. Recalculated every 3 years during reappraisal. Requiring voter approval for substantive funding changes beyond this limit. 1.3. HB 920 established a 20 mil floor, 2% of taxable property value, for minimum local school funding. And these reforms primarily slow future increases rather than reducing current taxes, with rural areas benefiting most but potentially straining local budgets in growing communities through service cuts, state aid needs, or higher millage rates. 3. Minimum wage increase to $11 per hour from $10.70. Mandated by a 2025 constitutional amendment tying adjustments to inflation. 1. School cell phone prohibition. Each school district, community school, and STEM school must adopt a policy banning student cell phone use during the instructional day, including classes, transitions, recess, meals, and field trips, with compliance required by January 1, 2026, to foster engaging learning environments. 1.2. Marijuana law revisions under Senate Bill 56. Banning THC beverages entirely via a gubernatorial line-item veto, despite opposition from some local business owners who called it an overcorrection. 1. Opioid crisis response via House Bill 57. Requiring schools to stock overdose prevention drugs, e.g. naloxone. 1. Corrections improvements. HB 29 mandates feminine hygiene products for female inmates in all facilities. HB 144, Keith's Law, creates a database for first responders to access information on individuals with communications. On January 18, 2026, the Ohio legislature's recent property tax reform bills were analyzed in a report by Gabriel E. Lade, C. Williams Swank Chair in Rural Urban Policy, highlighting their limited impact on current taxes but significant future implications for local governments, especially in rural versus urban areas. 3. A Week in Review. Summary from the Ohio Society of CPAs on January 16, 2026, covering up to January 18. Noted proposals to expand the Attorney General's office prosecution powers and allocate more funding to the Department of Children and Youth, DCY, for data analytics. Though these appear as ongoing discussions rather than finalized actions on or before January 18. 4. No enforcement actions, public events, agency announcements, or official proceedings involving Ohio government officials were detailed for January 18, 2026, in available records. The focus remains on the January 1 laws taking effect and their analysis. 1, 2, 3, 4. These changes aim to provide taxpayer relief, enhance student focus, and address public health, with implementation overseen by agencies like the Ohio Department of Education and local governments. 1, 2, 3.